Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski, and on this podcast I talk about ways for you to grow in your life and in your business to accelerate your results and reach your dreams faster. Now, in this episode, I'm going to touch on a topic that I've talked about quite often across all of the last 80 plus podcast episodes, but I'm going to be a little more direct, a little more bold and specific about it. It's one of the most important things if you are a business owner to do. And to be honest, some of the things that I'm going to say may not resonate with my audience. They may not connect with where you're at with things, but I know that if you can grab onto this, if you can be willing to learn something from a different perspective than you've ever thought about it before, it's going to impact you incredibly. And what I want to talk about is accelerating the time it takes for you to make big decisions. One of the number one skills that millionaires have, billionaires have, business owners that make 6 and 7 figures have, is the ability to make big, massive decisions quickly. And to do so without needing to spend a lot of time coming up with the reasons why they make those decisions. Yes, we want to make informed decisions, but oftentimes we come up with excuses for why we take so long to make those informed decisions. And this is one of the number one things that stops people. The other thing is I hear a lot of people say, I don't know what decisions to make. And to be perfectly honest with you, I do not think that that is true. When you really take just a second to think about it, almost all of us know for the next step of what we are going to do, what we have to do, and what we've been putting off doing. If you're building a business, if you break it down to the next step to take, whatever that is, it's different for everybody. It could be a domain name. It could be Facebook ads. It could be taking a course. It could be scheduling a call, hiring a coach, a mentor, learning something new. It could be trying something new. It could be leaving a situation that you've been in that hasn't been healthy or serving you. Something is better than nothing. And when we accelerate and speed up our decision-making process for big, life-changing decisions, it changes everything. And I'm going to tell you this, is that business owners oftentimes overwhelm themselves and overthink the decision-making process and make them a lot bigger in their head than they ever need to be. It's not brain surgery making a decision about what choice to make in your business, what domain name to do, what to call your Facebook page, what to post on social media, what type of content to put out there. But we get stuck in our heads spinning around these decisions when in fact we need to act quickly. Not making a decision is a decision. And many times people justify their lack of decision making or slowness of decision making as wisdom. I absolutely believe that we need to have wisdom in our decision making. But you can cultivate the acceleration of the speed of wise decision making. It's a skill that can be learned. And a way to do that is to get help, to find people who have walked the path that you are walking down, that have experienced what you are experiencing. And this is the lie that many of us run into. I thought it was just me. I think I'm the only person in the world that is going through what I'm experiencing. And we get stuck in our head thinking that we're the only person in the world that has walked through or is walking through what we are going through right now. When in fact, did you know that somebody who hasn't walked through what you're going through can actually give you a more objective perspective on that decision than you have yourself? Did you know that somebody who is accelerated past where you are can give you a calculated and wise perspective on that decision. And at the end of the day, though, nobody is going to make the decision for you. Holding two ideas, two paths in our mind, and being afraid to choose and justifying it as wisdom is one of the most damaging and hurtful things that you can do in your business, because it keeps you stuck right where you are, and you've excused being stuck as good. When we justify not making decisions and staying right where we are under the disguise, under the excuse of it's wise, we create a scenario and a framework in our life where we will never move past our comfort zone or where we are until we change that perspective. And this is a big thing that I see a lot of people do in business. The other thing is that they have in their mind a list of things that they refuse to do in their business, where they refuse to go, lines that they refuse to cross, standards that they refuse to touch, and a list of decisions that they need to make, choices that they need to take, things that they need to do in their business, and their refuse to do list and their need to do list have the same items on them. And this creates pretty much a framework in the business owner where it is physically impossible for years to progress until some things are moved from the refuse to do list and actions are taken and decisions are made that we previously refused to do for years, and we start doing those things. Every single decision is usually a big decision, is usually a series of small decisions. And however long that you take to decide those small decisions determines the speed of the big decision. So you may have a big decision that's a series of 20 small decisions, but you could decide to take 6 months or 6 minutes to make those small decisions. It's not wisdom to take that long to do that. As soon as you learn what you need to learn, discover what you need to discover. You need to break down, what is it that I don't know right now that is preventing me from making that decision? And at the end of the day, we ultimately come face to face with the fact that we're not making a decision because of fear of negative consequences, fear of what might happen if I decide to do this thing that's different than what I've been doing up to this moment in time, fear of changing the path that we're going on, fear of deciding one thing or the other, that if I waste time doing this thing and I'm going to end up 5 steps backward. We're afraid of going down that path, and so we would rather stay stuck doing nothing than doing something. And this is where a lot of the people that listen to my podcast are at right now, because I see the comments on my social media. I see this paralyzation of overanalysis, paralysis of analysis, keeping us stuck making decisions because we don't feel like we're good enough, we know enough, we're not ready enough to make the decisions to move forward, when in fact there are resources in front of you right now to assist you doing that. There are books you can read, there are courses you can take, there are mentors and teachers and people that want to help you learn what you don't know. One of the biggest decisions that people struggle to do is the decision to even ask for help. It's so big in their mind that if they ask for help, that their value is less than somebody that didn't ask for help. And pride keeps them stuck, not even getting the help that they need to make decisions. And this is the cycle, this is the vicious cycle that will keep you stuck for 5, 10, 15, 20 years doing exactly what you're doing right now and not progressing. And the name of this podcast is Grow Your Life. If you want to grow your life, if you want to move the needle even one step forward, you are going to have to accelerate your decision-making process and how quickly you make big decisions and how quickly you do what you previously have not done before. And so if you have a business, if you're wondering, what steps should I take? Listen, nobody is going to tell that to you for you. If you come from a corporate world, or you've ran an agency, or you come from a place where people have always told you what your job is, there's a framework in your mind that says, well, I'm not going to do anything until somebody tells me what to do. As a business owner, that's not an option anymore. You are the only one that can tell you what to do and make the decisions for you. You can get help from other people to educate yourself, to learn what you don't know. But at the end of the day, you are going to have to take a risk. You are going to have to do something without certainty or a guarantee of how it's going to play out. You are going to have to do something and possibly make the wrong decision with boldness. You are going to have to make a decision to do something to move you forward. And it may be a very big decision that may have certain consequences, and yet you have to accept the fact that making that decision is the thing that you need to do, and not making a decision is actually far more detrimental for your future. And so if that's you, do this mental exercise where you say, you know what? If I did know what decision to make, if I did know what path to take, what would it be? What would I do? What is my gut feeling that I'm feeling about this? Many of us have intuition that is actually going to guide us far better than knowing everything up here. And if you follow your gut feeling when making a decision, oftentimes that's going to lead you. It might not be the perfect path, but it's going to get you a lot closer than sitting around waiting for you to have head knowledge about what the perfect path is. And so if you're building a business, if you're growing a business, if you're somebody that wants to accelerate from where you are to where you want to be, it's time to start asking the right questions. It's time to start getting the help that you need to grow to the next level. It's time to start making big decisions faster. Again, it's the number one skill that millionaires and billionaires have, and people that make 6 and 7 figures have, is the ability to make big decisions quickly. Life-changing decisions fast, because you realize that you are not powerless to your decision. If you make a decision and it doesn't work out, you can literally choose to do something else. Your life is not locked into a decision. Oh, are you locked in for a year, 2 years, 5 years? Maybe. And that's okay. It's not your entire life. Many times we are so afraid of repeating a past negative pattern or getting locked into something that we don't like that we're afraid of doing anything. You have to gain the courage to make those decisions quickly. You have to go through the steps to heal from the pain of your past. You have to go through the steps to realize that this situation is not the same as that last time, and it's okay to take a step of faith this time, and it's not going to pan out the same as last time. When we are terrified and afraid of things turning out how they did before, and we don't make decisions because of that, we are attaching our energy to that negative pattern. And you know what's going to happen? Being attached to that with fear will oftentimes repeat the pattern. That's why we end up in these hamster wheels of negative patterns repeating themselves, is because our fear ends up being like a self-fulfilling prophecy for us. Instead of declaring that, you know what, this time it's going to be different, I'm going to get help, and I'm going to accelerate my decision-making process. It's time to start making decisions. It's time to start taking steps forward without it all figured out already, and figuring it out as you go. It will hurt you in the long run as a business owner to keep waiting and taking forever to make big decisions. It is going to the best word I can say is it's going to hurt you in the long run to take forever to make big decisions in your business. And the thing that's going to change everything for you is to accelerate the time that it takes for you to have a decision to make and decide what to do and to take action and shore that up. Not 6 months, not a year, not 3 months, not even a month sometimes. If a decision is taking you longer than a week to make, then there are other decisions that you are not making that decide that decision. Think of it this way, okay? Big decision is taking you longer than a week. Then there might be sub-decisions. You have this big decision, but it might be hinging on 3 other decisions. So then you need to start doing 1, 2, and 3, those sub-decisions within a week, within a couple days, quickly coming up with it. What I like to do often is sleep on it 1 to 2 days, no more than that for stuff like that, and then decide something and move forward. When you start doing this, it's going to accelerate everything for you. And there's those of you that for some reason you still aren't getting it. There's some kind of fear. There's something you might not even feel like you can vocalize why this is so difficult. But I want you in your own time to ask yourself, why is this so hard for me? Why is making decisions, why is making a big decision quickly so wrong, so difficult, something I'm avoiding? Start answering that for yourself, why that is. Get to the root of it. Get to the root of what happened last time that you're trying to avoid happening this time. What you think might happen if you do. It often points to an area where we need to process, we need to work through, we need to talk through with somebody else. If you're somebody that's on an island personally, you have no friends, you have no mentors, you have no people that you can talk to and process stuff, that's going to be one of the very first decisions to make, is to start to talk to some people about this stuff. Maybe you're like, well, when I talked to somebody last time, it panned out bad for me, or they used the information against me. I get it. We've all been through stuff. People have been through stuff where they've broken our trust and they've hurt us. Somebody hurting us in the past is not an excuse to project that onto everybody else in the future and no longer trust anybody and live on an island as a lone wolf that does everything by yourself. Success happens through teamwork, through community, through working together as a team, 1 to 2 people helping you with those decisions. You don't have those people in your life, find them. That's the decision to make. Start finding people that you can bounce stuff off of. Start finding accountability partners in your life. And you know what? If an accountability partner doesn't work out for you long term, find another one. It's okay. You have permission to do that. But going at this alone and spinning around in your head is not going to help you progress forward. You can't solve the problems of today with the same consciousness that got you into the same mess that you're in right now. You have to do something differently. And if you're somebody that needs some help on what decisions to make in your business to move forward, to get more customers, to get more sales, that's what I'm here. That's what the Grow Your Life community is for. You can bounce questions around in the group. You can schedule a 15-minute call with me. You can send me a direct message and we can talk about this stuff, how to get you to the next level in your business. All right. So if you're somebody that's building a business, you have to start making decisions quickly. You have to start deciding what to do faster and faster than you have been. That's going to increase your capacity. It's going to increase your output. If you're saying, I don't have enough time to do things, oftentimes it's because we're spending so much time on the decision-making process. We're spending so much time doing things that we need to decide to stop doing. We have to make decisions to stop doing time wasters, to start moving forward and to start moving that needle forward in our life and in our business to get more results so that things don't take as long for you to move forward. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to work with you. Schedule a call with me. We'll talk soon. Grow your life, everybody. Have a good one.